I can actually remember times when I would try to get a little bit more red, a little bit more sun, so I would get a little bit more tan the next day. And it was painful, it would hurt. It would hurt to take a shower. The water hitting my skin would just, it was awful, it was painful. In May of 2007, I decided I needed to have a mole looked at. It was looking suspicious, and after about 2 or 3 months of watching it, I decided I needed to have it looked at. One day, I went ahead and went to the doctor, and she decided to do a punch biopsy of it. And she said, "Oh, I'm going to send it off to have it looked at, but I'm fairly certain it's nothing to be too concerned about. We'll call and let you know." The person called from the office and said, "We'd like to schedule your appointment to come back and meet with your doctor." She asked me to come in at 4:30 and asked me to bring my husband with me. And so we went ahead and went in that day, and we were her last appointment of the day. And I could just tell by the way she came into the room, and she sat right in front of me and just put her hands on my knees, and she said, "It is melanoma, but I'm very glad that you came and had it taken out so we could get it biopsied." She said, "I am going to have to refer you out to have a wider excision done." At the time, I had no idea what that was. I had just heard melanoma. I knew melanoma was cancer, and I didn't hear anything beyond that.
A cutaneous oncologist is a skin cancer doctor. So cutaneous means skin, and oncology means the treatment of cancer. So a cutaneous oncologist would be a doctor who treats skin cancer. Most skin cancers are thought to be caused by sun exposure. And so people who have fair skin and can't protect themselves from the sun very well, the sun has what's called ultraviolet light. And that ultraviolet light can damage the DNA inside of the cells, and those cells then start to grow and divide out of control.
When I started using tanning booths, I would go at least 4 to 5 times per week. Usually a tanning bed session would last anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes. There were times, even in the summer, that I would tan maybe once or twice in a tanning bed a day, or I would tan in a tanning bed and then go lay out at the pool just to make sure I got some good exposure.
Tanning is a big risk factor for melanoma and developing skin cancer in general later in life. So tanning should really try to be avoided. People should, or kids should wear sun protective clothing and sunblock. Tanning beds have been shown to increase the risk of skin cancer, so it's important to avoid tanning beds and to watch your skin and make sure that you don't burn.
It wasn't because I felt a certain way that I had to be tan or I didn't. I think it was more of an addiction. I didn't know what was going on. And pretty soon it was just a habit, and it was routine.
There are a number of different types of skin cancer. The most common types are what are called non-melanoma skin cancers, and there's generally 2 of those. There's a type called basal cell cancer, and there's a type called squamous cell cancer. And of these non-melanoma skin cancers, there's probably close to 1 million cases per year, so it's very, very common. They're generally very highly curable. That is, they stay localized in the skin and can be cut out without much problem. The other type of skin cancer that's the most serious is a type called malignant melanoma. And the reason that's very serious is because it has a very high potential to spread from the skin internally into the body. It's very important to protect yourself from the sun while you're young, because we think that it's the sun exposure that we get as children and young adults that set us up for skin cancer later in life. So it's very important to use sunscreen and apply it multiple times throughout the day. It's important to try to avoid direct sun exposure, playing in the shade rather than directly in the sun. It's important to wear hats and sun protective clothing, and it's very, very important not to get sunburns during childhood.
I stopped tanning in June of 2007 because I was diagnosed with melanoma. If I could give advice to anyone, I would encourage them to always wear sunscreen and to think about the activities they're doing, when they're doing them, and how they're protecting their skin from the sun. Whether it's using sunscreen or wearing long sleeves or a hat or sunglasses, think about what they're doing because there will be long-term effects.